Go play. There's almost 4,000 acres. Run. Have fun. Go. 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 Hey guys and gals, it's your buddy Drew from Living History's Mysteries and Ferocious Feline Productions. As many of you know, my family had the chance to finally get away for the 4th of July weekend. We couldn't have picked a prettier place. Shade State Park, down by Crawfordsville, Indiana, is rustic to say the least. There's a lot of acreage and trails, going from the simplest trails that any child could do to some really rugged trails that even seasoned professionals are going to find fun and entertaining. You know, as we sat there and camped on Monday and Tuesday evening and watched how dark the forest was, how thick it was, and how the wildlife interacted in an organized, well, we're dealing with raccoons here, so we're going to say an organized assault. It got me thinking, and this is going to seem silly, but it got me thinking about Jurassic Park. What life must have been like when all of the country was as thick and densely forested as Shades was. I was going to do a paranormal investigation out there because of all the mysteries and stuff. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. There was something about that place that just made me feel like it didn't need disrupted. So I decided to take some photos of the family having fun, but I also, like I said, dipped into that. I'll tell you what, I'll let you watch the video. We'll talk at the end. This is good.
Let's take a look at cloning. We have all seen it in the movies or read about it in books. In these stories, more often than not, the consequences of man playing God with this technology leads to disaster. However, in actuality, this technology can offer hope to many. Its use in the field of medicine is revolutionary. But today we're not talking about that aspect of its use. We're going to look at the resurrection of extinct species. Let's start out by saying I don't think we have to worry about T-Rex stomping down our streets anytime soon. This because scientists need to start the cloning process by first finding a sample of well-preserved and intact DNA. The chances of finding DNA which has survived millions of years is extremely slim, almost to the point of impossibility. But for animals which have died out more recently, there is a good chance of finding viable DNA. This has, in fact, just happened. A 50,000-year-old cave lion was found perfectly preserved in Siberia. This animal, once extinct, now has a chance to live again. The frozen body of a cub, said to be between 6 and 8 weeks old, was discovered in the Russian province of Yakutia. Locked in the permafrost of the tundra, its body kept in an impressive state. Dr. Albert Protopopov, head of the Department of Paleontology at the Academy of Sciences, believes that this specimen could supply enough DNA samples to clone the species and resurrect this species. And this seems very likely to happen. We have a cousin species in the modern lion that would provide a viable surrogate feline. Once this occurs, will it open the floodgates on species resurrection? Will we see a new gold rush? People frantically searching for preserved remains of long-dead creatures in the hope of bringing them back. Which species are likely to join the cave line and get their second shot on the planet? The most commonly mentioned candidate for resurrection is the woolly mammoth. Flash frozen remains of woolly mammoths have been found preserved under the Siberian permafrost, just like the cave line, and scientists hope their bones can be a source of good DNA. These bones containing marrow cells for cloning. Japanese and Russian scientists have announced they have such bones and predict they will be able to clone a mammoth in as little as 5 years. They plan to insert the nuclei from a mammoth cell into the egg of a modern elephant. The animal will then carry the mammoth embryo in its womb until birth, and then mammoths will once again walk the earth. Another iconic species from the same time period as the mammoth, the saber-toothed cats. These creatures have also been found in states of good preservation. However, the cloning may be a little harder. Although they are commonly known as saber-toothed tigers, they weren't tigers. They were a separate genus, and they do not have any direct relatives alive today. Maybe with the huge leaps being made with gene editing, there is hope. Will we be able to see these icons of the Ice Age side by side? I think that would be amazing, and people would pay big to see it. The first zoo or safari park to exhibit one of these beasts will become so profitable, the capitalist market will push the cloning of more and more extinct species. This may sound like we are sailing very close to the shores of Jurassic World, but think of it this way. If the scientists have the funding to carry out the research and continue bringing back these lost species, we might be able to undo some of the damage we have done. Animals we have wiped from the face of the earth may get to return. They may not be as exciting as the mammoth or the saber-toothed tiger, but they will have their second chance. The dodo and the great auk, the thylacine and the Chinese river dolphin, the passenger pigeon and the imperial woodpecker, all animals humans have driven extinct, sometimes deliberately. Today, many more species are endangered. Researchers believe that cloning can help reverse this. I think it is great. I cannot wait to see the first animals brought back from the abyss of extinction. What do you think? Is this a good idea? Will it lead to a Hammond-esque disaster? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and remember to share. After all, sharing on YouTube is like cloning, and I think that is something we should encourage.
Welcome back. You know, it's like I said at the beginning. As I was sitting there and I was watching the wildlife and looking at how dense the forest was, even some game trails were almost not passable. It's called the dark forest for a reason. There are only spots where you can see the stars through the canopy. And other than that, it's black. It's black. You don't see anything. But like I said, it got me thinking about what it was like 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago. And of course, that got me thinking, you know, that childhood dream back in the 90s when Jurassic Park came out. What would it be like if we would have never encroached? What would it be like if we could bring some of that life back into its natural habitat? Some of those animals that, well, man caused their extinction. So I wanted to touch a little bit on that, touch a little bit on the park, let you guys see some of the fun we have. Of course, I have contact information for Shade State Park here at the end. So anybody who wants to go out and really rough it can take their family out and have a great time. Because believe me, it was a great time. But that's all I got for you guys today. As always, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you, I do. Somebody's having fun. Kids.